Hello, Warriors. Dale Pinkert and Mike Venezia joining you from TradeGATEHub.com. And Mike and I and a lot of talented traders are powered by TradeView Markets. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Well, you know what? I'm doing fine. Thank you. All in all, yes, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's what I always tell everybody in TGH. You know what I mean? It's what 11:05 Eastern. Obviously, the market opens at 9:30 Eastern. It feels like I've been trading for 6-7 hours, which in the younger days would have been great. But now it's just
Yeah,
it's just you know what it is. It's day by day. I mean,
it is.
even look at what's going on this week. If we in a second we'll go into TGH, but per the economic calendar, I mean, for crying out loud, we have OPEX and the end, even into the end of the month coming. So forget about some earnings still trickling in, and
The Fed tomorrow.
the macro situation with with Ukraine, and obviously inflation, which is tantamount now. The war is taking second, but so yeah, I mean, you know what it is? It's day by day. The VIX is over 30, and you know what? The same theme has been predominant. Obviously, I changed. I've been in this game long enough where I can adjust, but I have more trepidation putting long money to work. It's day by day, and that's why actually, quite honestly, what we do best. And that's why we should really, everybody should really tune in more than, a lot of fun guys. I'm not alone in seeing that. Maybe I'm using an example that Microsoft might be a buy 6 to 1 year out. You don't need me to, I'm just using an example to say that. But, to tell me if you're looking at if MSTR is a gauge of if Bitcoin's going to hold 20,000 or not, that's why you should be in the room.
Okay, so listen, Mike, last week when we got together, was my contention that rates were going to head higher, that the bond market was in a wave 4, which meant and implied another new low was coming for 5. And that was going to be the acid test for all asset classes to see how they would hold up with yields spiking one more time. And I don't know if it's over. And I think about what's happening in our debt markets, and there's no way you can't call what's happened in the bond market compared to what's happened in the stock market a crash. And there are still a few markets that have not that have held the lows. Silver held so far, has held that 2030 level down here. Perhaps they wash it out, but I'm just saying so far. Whereas the S&P and NASDAQ, they've made new lows approaching some support.
That's a very good point. If I can interrupt there for a second, I apologize.
No,
in these type of markets, it's a bear market. You look for what happens are the shoes are dropping. Do you know what I mean? You just said that, and silver wasn't really, but UNG was one that dropped today, for example, correct? Yeah. So what you really want to do for the health of the overall market, maybe I'm jumping ahead in the question, is you want to, you want all the shoot,
we were talking about this top, Mike, here in the room for several days. It was here. There was one more jiggle, but I believe what came into the room was that this reversal up here sealed the top, quote unquote.
It sealed the top, and after 26 years of trading, you not only re-edified, but maybe taught me something in that the top was confirmed, and that the RSI was lacking and not making new highs. Am I correct?
Yeah.
We did a whole, maybe we talked about that for 2 or 3 days. And by the way, for somebody that contra trades myself, that's a bread and butter situation. That's a bread and butter. I mean, that's a bread and butter key. That was that was a nice trade.
Kind of reminds me of Freeport at the top.
Agreed.
Same type of mess.
Right.
So Euro has not made a new low. It's not far away. It's one bad day away. But normally when the dollar is making a new high, Euro would be leading it and making new lows. Just some subtleties that maybe a lot of people wouldn't even consider. Also, you have the Euro pound breaking out, which is not such a great sign for a strong dollar. It's really, even though the Euro has not made a new low, cable has.
Right.
Okay, and Aussie hasn't made a new low. It's close. I'll buy it at new lows. Because why?
I will too. I'm just asking why.
Okay. Because, I think this weakness now is kind of like we have liquidation breaks going on.
Right.
And remember, we talked about everything is one market,
Right.
that everything's moving up together
Mhm.
and everything's moving down together. Today, a classic day, yesterday, a classic day. And so I really think that if we get a bottom in the market, and we could talk a little bit about how Paul might be gaming this. What do you think of that leak or that news story from the Wall Street Journal that came out yesterday that got the market to believe that they were going to go 75 basis points?
Well, I think that was, well, short and long term, I think it was a smart move. That's the way the VIX didn't go. The VIX calmed down. They leaked it out.
Could it
So
be a trial balloon, buddy? And the Fed
I,
wanted to see how the market would take it?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't
I'm
want to
not
be.
either.
No, I agree. And I did not want to happen because the more news that came out leaked is the more news that people can disseminate and calm down. I just wanted it to get it. I wanted another baseball bat to the proverbial head, if you will. I started to be so graphic. You know what I mean? I don't want this trickle because it just gives more time. And the more time, it just, things get calmer and the fear just doesn't get as exacerbated. And I just want it over. We're arguing about, or we're agreeing about levels, if you will, about the SPX, if it's going to be what, 3,600 or 3,300. You know what I mean? Those
Yeah,
aren't those our give or take levels?
yeah.
Obviously, we're holding a little bit now. The market is taking in positive news negatively. We're still trying to hold here. I'm going to, but, day by day. I
Okay.
don't like, to answer your question, I didn't like the leak either.
Okay,
Like
I want to get into some signs of capitulation, and I talked to someone who set up here when we were in this little rectangle here,
yeah,
and I thought we'd break out to the upside, but what a great signal on a breakdown. It was really a simple trade.
it was a
You
simple
just,
trade.
you just sell, wasn't it?
But I'm going to tell you why. We were talking about that as well. I'm going to go to the TGH chart for a second, then we'll
I
flip
thought we
back.
were only going to retrace, right? I thought maybe we'd pull back to 960 and then go again. I wasn't expecting new lows, but anyway, here we are, and we deal with what we have now. And just one thing that I don't think many people talk about, and I think it could be a very bearish long-term fundamental. Think about this, Mike. Consider the airlines. Consider any of the equities that over the last few years, especially during COVID, they were going to the corporate bond market to borrow. Okay. And these are, investment grade corporates, right? And what did they do? Well, these were low rates. These are high rates.
Right.
So they went on a borrowing spree, and they used it for financial engineering. We talked about this
You
before.
did. No, we did. And I learned.
For
I
buybacks.
said, leave that to the pros. That's what I left it to the pros. You edified. You told me. Yeah, I get it.
So, I mean, we talked about back here, well, what if rates went up and they have like a margin account, and the asset that they financed up here is also declining in value? And what's going to happen when they have to roll that paper
All right.
from where, rates have almost, doubled for them to do so? I think that's a big long-term problem.
Well, I know. Like I said, or like I've been saying, that any of the newer traders that you're getting, 10, 15 years in cycles condensed into 3, 4 years.
Yes.
And, if that happened to me, I'd be on the cover of Forbes this month. You know what I mean?
But
But
you never hear bond crash, do you?
I'm going to show you something. Yes, you do. I pointed on TGH this morning. Let's put
Bond crash?
Can you switch?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me go. Here, there you go.
Share screen, switch screen, TGH. How to sign in. I said about it right here. Where's that girl, Lisa Abramowitz? She's very good.
Oh yeah, she is.
You know what I mean? For macro view.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Maybe it's in here. And I have been talking about, I said it right today. The NASDAQ is down 30% this year. How you doing? All right. You want to talk about capitulation? Helene, Yesterday's ETF put. I'm going to jump around as I go through some information.
Okay, yeah, okay. So there's one,
Okay.
and there's one sign of capitulation, put call ratio.
Okay, and what I also posted yesterday, and I saw you a thumbs up, and this was yesterday. Walter Deemer, who's look at the spies again. My P&L is not doing just as I digress, I look at my main screen as the futures are near the low here. My stocks consisting of technology stocks are not going down anymore. Just a note. Just a note.
That's a good sign. So
I say that 11:15. I say that at 11:15. I'm just saying, whatever. I digress. All right.
So you have some relative strength in your portfolio.
Well, only because I think they are. We'll get back to in a second. Today was Walter Deemer. Today was 98% downside day. And by the way, yesterday we were down what, another 800, right?
Yeah.
So on top of that, yesterday, 1987. Everybody knows what that is. Again, is the record is the record. So we did something on a normal Monday afternoon, and it was
close to a record,
and we were close to the record on a 1987 crash. All right, getting back to this, and it also and this is what I also want to get again when I say again, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm not going to apologize because it's high, it's just quality material. With that being said, is part of the plan is, and I said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again, is I have trepidation putting longer money to work as the VIX is up here. This is, I'm not superstitious and I don't want to get ahead of myself, and it should be. It's like shooting fish in a barrel intraday, and everybody knows it in here. You know what I mean? But Kramer just said as part of the day plan, just watch rates. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that difficult. The plan as things get stretched are actually somewhat cerebral. It's not like it's not like late in 2021 when things didn't make sense, when things are just going parabolic, and Square was at $400. I don't know if it's capitulation yet, but getting back to our chart here, and this was the comp. I mean, if you were alert on this flag here, and we were, and that's how it broke, like you said. I just don't know. I don't know what's going. I'm just taking it day by day, Coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. And tomorrow's another big day. What if the Fed, floated that out, and now the market's priced in 75 basis points, or even a full point. Some people are talking, and he comes out with exactly what he said he was going to do, and only raises half a point.
It's 0.50. A sell.
That's a sell?
I believe it is.
Okay.
What do you believe?
Well, I think it's under market expectations. I think there'd be relief. That
I don't know.
It's almost a dovish, hawkish thing to do right now.
Isn't the VIX at 25, considering where the markets are down, telling you that, giving you a hint about that?
The VIX isn't.
They're already played. In my opinion, the VIX at this level, it's already there. It's the news is already out. That's why it's so complacent.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, the VIX, I could look at my charts, but the VIX still hasn't made a new high, with the S&Ps making a new low. So it's up against a range. I don't know what you're thinking in the VIX. I mean, I heard there were a lot of people buying the 50 strike calls last week.
That's correct. That was us. That was a lot of protection going on, and we were waiting for that protection ever unwound. They have to buy back, and that would go higher, but that hasn't been. Touche. Well put.
Yeah.
Listen, this is we were posting what's going on all day. We give you the macro views, the credit default swaps. Obviously, I give you a lot of things aren't completely washed out yet, and I saw something that. Let me just go to my Twitter feed here for a second, and it was a good point. What Kramer said. And listen, I'm going to give you specific trades. I could give you a specific pivot, but at this point, it's you against yourself. It's not against, we know what to do. We're going to give you what to do. And this was what Kramer said. And even the bigger guys, when they want to do something, say this. It was about Tepper, my man, probably one of the best out there. Cooperman was on this morning, and Stick with me a second. Kramer's probably talking about something 20 hours, 20 hours. I did post it on TGH. Maybe he took it off, but it had to do about, it is true.
Bullets?
Well, it's true, by the way, when the lead story about is about the S&P and the Times are often near the end of the route, the sell-up. That's true. But I'll move on to about it. But I'm just saying that in this type of market, it's not, and it really never sank in until I started, taking on more buying power on a private level, is that, it's a cop out, but it's a better market not to lose money than to try to make it. And that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's okay to, just observe, and have a shopping list and wait for things to do something right.
There are a lot of cross currents. You had Oracle, which is up 9%, which in a bull market would have put everything up across the board at least 2 to 5%, at least 2%. You have that MicroStrategy that I pointed out in the room that right now is where's MSTR? You know what, I even took.
Well, they're pointing towards that 20,000 Bitcoin level that he's going to have a margin call.
Right. Well, MicroStrategy started the day, the low of the day is 145. Now it's at what? 158. It's almost near the high of the day. And that's, that was a sell the news, that was sell the news. That was on the precipice of going bankrupt. And now I see Mara's at the high of the day. Coin is only down, 3%. I took a little position.
Maybe Bitcoin is recovering. Is Bitcoin higher now?
You know what? I don't. Is it Bitcoin? Let me see. BTC.
Probably.
Yeah, it's where is it? BTC. I don't even have it on the main page. I'm really not trying to. Where is it? Crypto. Is it? Somebody chime in here. Bitcoin? No, it's what? Is it 22.5? No, it's 22.5. Ethereum's at 1,200. Bitcoin in the last 24 hours is down 3%. Bitcoin's I don't know. All I know is the futures are breaking low and they're rotating properly. I still have Apple positive, Microsoft positive. The key is Exxon. By the way, it might be a fade here. So it's individual stock picking. Let me share one more thing here. And if we are going on tangents, I do apologize. But let's even go to something like the bar chart. Let's look at stocks. Let's look at percent change. Look at what the high for the day with volume, percent change on the high. Okay, so you have Revlon that's up 115%, has 55 million traded as opposed to 3 million. So the stock trading 1,000 times percent of the volume, give or take. It has a huge range, and so trade these. Here's another one, EDU, the Chinese stock. It's up 20%. Lewis said this morning they're strong. These are all China's holding.
The only central bank easing.
And you know what? Now no one wants them.
We've talked about that.
Yes, we did. You talked about it, and that gave me a little confirmation. I have some of them. Look at PDD. Where's my charts? I don't have my charts anymore. PDD. Now, when it was Baba. So this is my list on stocks. The bottom line have good range, good price action. You have CF that's got a 9% range with 50% volume is at 1130. Even on the downside, this is all you need, really. You don't have to worry about if Square is going to bottom or about capitulation. If whatever, give me an example. If Blue Bio is going up and the bios are going down or whatever, that's, this is a relative strength, relative weakness type of market. It really is. There are a lot of cross currents, but like I said before, Apple's still positive as a composite. They'll use these things. You got to think you don't really have to think of, outside the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you do have to think about whether you have the right personality to be a passive investor because it's worked forever by just holding the spider, or that you need to become more active in your management of the market.
More specifically, you really got to be on top of your stock.
Yeah, see, most people are passive.
If you're not a swing trader, don't try to capitulate. You know what I mean? If you're a guy that likes to wait for confirmation a day or two for a stock to make a higher low with volume, that's really, really the good trading is they don't really go like that. They usually take a day or, this is not a V-shaped thing. It might be tomorrow into Wednesday, but there is a lot of movement here going in pieces if you're going to do anything.
Okay, Mike. So
did I answer any questions? I'm sorry. We're trying to talk to each other, but you know what? And let me leave one more thing here. And once again, I always say this, I'm not going to apologize. If you miss anything, just go to this thing right here. the red button. It's not the green door. It's called the red button. And go to all the videos. And these are videos every day. This is what's going on live. So if you miss something, or if I went too fast, I know New Yorker, it works in my favor most of the time. Go back here and press the video, press pause. If I glance across my screen and you want to see my universe, pause it. Write down Mike V has this and this bunched up. You know what I mean? That's why we have it. The YouTube channel is way more valuable than this. After we press the leave meeting, it's done. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant unless you go back and if you're watching it live or go back to the channel. So it's one of the greatest amenities we have at TradeGATEHub. The second amenity that we have is always listening or getting back to a question for someone as soon as possible, because if someone's taking the time out of their day to want our knowledge, I take that as a compliment and a responsibility. So I don't think anybody here can argue across the board how we do that. So I'll leave it here at 11:25 afterwards, Coach. Great. I was looking forward to even talking with you, even talking. I wanted to know what you were doing. I wanted to know what you were doing more than ever today.
The acid test. I'm looking to, fade the Fed. If we get new lows, I've posted the S&P chart where I may take a shot at that return line, and depending upon what other markets do, the dollar, etc. I'm looking to fade the Fed. I think that we need. I think we need a weaker dollar to have a better equity market, at least for a while.
Touche. No, by the way, I agree. Coach, can you put up your daily chart on the S&P, please?
Yeah, you have to let me. Let's see if it'll let me share. Oh, you have to stop sharing. Okay.
I'm like Arthur Fonzarelli. I'm trading my T-shirt now.
Okay, and you wanted the daily S&P?
Well, today, if you will. Give me the S&P today.
Okay, hold on. Let me get us out of the way.
Just today's chart. 1 minute, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
Today's
that's a monthly. No, here's your day. Here's your daily chart.
A minute. 1 minute. Do you have a minute? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's 15. Starting to diverge. I could. Well,
I just told you as my 10 minutes ago. Go to 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Look at that.
I let everybody know when I was doing this that the market was breaking low and my mark was going higher. The high of the day.
Yeah.
And I went from. I'm not going to say. I went from. I had a night. So now draw that line, Coach. That trend line. If we get above 3, yeah, of course.
So
exactly. I don't need to tell you. That's where I double up, or as Lewis would say, what did I say? Load up, load in, load up. Okay. But I wanted everybody to know that I had, as I was looking and doing the video, the SPYs were breaking low and my stocks were going higher than they were in the morning. So that's what we call a relative strength. Now look at my stocks right now. I punch up CRSP. Please.
Okay, I have to load it because I don't have it.
Get to know it. Got
to know it? All right, where do I do it? Oh, yeah. What's the symbol, Mike?
CRISP, CRSP. It's a gene therapy up and coming. No, P, as in Paul.
Okay, biotech.
Now, what did that do just now? All right, so that went from where?
54 to 56 on a day trade.
I'm long it. So as I was talking, I'm long. Now, by the way, this is a best of breed bio. I'm not saying it's going back to 80, but 3 days.
Oh, well, look at this, Mike. I mean, this is another candidate with the S&Ps and everything making new lows. I'm not saying it can't trade 50, but this is resilient with what's going on in the market.
But not only that, what does it qualify for my style, if you will?
Best of breed.
No, and also what?
The moving averages?
Huh? 3 days down.
Okay, 3 days down and a turn.
And with volume.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going back to 60, but that's something that the XBI is crashing.
So that's a rule you could learn from Mike and see if it works for you. Open a demo account on TradeView and start looking for 3 candles down, 3 candles up, and see what happens after 3.
But Coach, look at where
before I knew you, Mike, number 3 is a big number to me. It's a number of completion. That's why I teach at 3 dry formation. So here's another.
I don't know, Coach. I lived in South Florida a long time. Threesomes don't work. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Well, Anyway, the fantasy is better than the reality. What?
See where this E was, where that E was in May?
Yeah, right here.
That was also 3 days down.
Look at that. So if you want to learn how to trade, I rest my case. Plenty of knowledge here, and a lot of actionable ideas. That's it. I invite everyone to join us, and it's a mind blower. It's free.
It is you know what? It really is a mind blower. It is.
Yeah. So,
mind blowing.
I think we should charge, I don't know, 200 a month.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. As I do these, really, as I do, I mean, I'm sure Tim would beg to differ, but he knows as I do these podcasts, it makes me better. And
yeah,
in the end, it's a better P&L for bottom line for the up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks for hanging out with me for about a half an hour. And I wish you luck. I don't have to wish you luck tomorrow because you have skill.
Yeah, no, well,
okay.
You have to. I appreciate that, but I appreciate that, Coach.
I'm not against luck. I mean, there's nothing wrong with.
No, luck. You can't. Look, hard work. The harder you work, the longer luck comes into play.
Yeah,
that is a freak. That's a fact. It's a fact.
And that'd be a great name for a band. 3 Days Down.
It's a name. It's a name of. It is name of a band. A name of a band. 3 Doors Down. 3 Doors Down.
Okay, I know we're talking about 3 days down.
3 days down, yeah.
Three candles. All
okay,
right,
everyone. Any other questions? Listen, I don't want to joke around anymore. Or I think we made some very good points here about relative strength. About to even take what I say. Sometimes on the bigger traders of all our desks, if he starts to groan, you got to take some sort of cues. You know what I mean? If I'm playing around the golf and I just don't have it, then don't be my partner. You know what I mean? I'm just know what stay within your lanes and perfect your craft. This is not a market to really go outside the lines. It's a time to really ask a lot of questions. But if you stay in your lane over time, you learn in these type of volatile markets. It's just it's gonna pay off. I'm telling you, it's gonna pay off. So cheers, everyone. Have a good day.
And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. Mike will be on tomorrow too. Adios, everyone. Hit the subscribe button and the like button if we helped you today. Adios.